everybody. It is the 18th of December. That's right, it's the 18th of December. And it is Vlogmas Day 18 for me. That's right, Vlogmas Day 18. Guys, today I'm going to talk a little bit about podcast formats, how to choose one, what's right for you, the different kinds of podcast formats. So, without further ado, you probably should pick at least a format to go with before you get started on your show, because you'll need to know how to, you need to have some sort of a format for your show. But that doesn't mean you can't change it later or have a different thing because you decide that people aren't liking your style of podcast. So there's a couple different kinds of podcast style formats. Some popular ones are interview, where the questions and answers with one or more guests who have special knowledge, fame, or experience. The panel discussion, so you have 3, 4, 5 different people. It's a group, and you're having a conversation between that group. There's a journalism style, which is reporting on news in an area or field that's covering a specific story. So those could be like daily things. Those are just quick, like a journalism. Think of a news story when you think of those things. Storytelling is another popular format, which is one or more short pieces in a single episode with a longer story told over several episodes. So this can be you're telling several different stories, things like that, but you're telling that story in your podcast. That's the storytelling format. There's narrative nonfiction, which is like an audio documentary, typically spread over multiple episodes. So think of like true crime podcast where you're telling a story, but it's not just that one episode where they're telling the story. It's going to be the whole. It's going to be your whole podcast is going to be about, maybe one season is about the one story. It's spread over multiple episodes. There's also narrative fiction, which is a fictional story told by one person or cast of characters. So think of these highly produced like story type shows that are fake. I mean, they're fiction, but that's what they're telling the story. There's also solo commentary, which is a single person or monologue or ad lib. So this is where we talked about earlier about trying to pick if you're going to have a co-host or you're going to do a solo show. This is similar to that. So you can have a solo commentary, just one person doing a podcast. It's what I'm doing now, essentially, even though I'm doing video vlogging. It's really this format here because I'm a solo person. I am telling you some information or facts. I'm commenting on how to create a format for your podcast. And then the last kind of format for your show could be a co-host show, where 2 or more steady hosts discussing a subject matter of the show. And that's usually what I have for my podcast show too. My podcast is a co-host, me and a co-host. Actually, we have co-hosts. We kind of flip between co-host show and interview show. And when we do the interviews, obviously it's both of us still doing the interview, but we have 2 hosts. But there are some times where we may not have a guest, and it's just the 2 of us talking about a subject matter. So all of these formats are valid formats, and they can be great formats for any podcast. You just need to decide what is going to be best for you and what's going to be best for your show and the information that you're trying to get out. One thing though, you do need to kind of evaluate this, because there may be you may be getting into your show, into your podcast, and maybe the format isn't bringing the listeners in, or which kind of thing is more fun for you. I know for me, a co-host one is more fun. I'm okay, and I'm getting better. And like I said, one of the reasons that I'm doing the Vlogmas is because I wanted to get better at doing solo type things, just because I want to get better at doing that. And so for me, like I don't always I wasn't always the greatest at doing my own things, doing solo things, and so I am trying to get better at that now. And one reason I'm doing that is because of Vlogmas. But for me, it's more fun with a co-host. I enjoyed having a co-host so I can talk to. I can talk to somebody, and it works out well. So you can always change your format if you need to change it up a little bit. Maybe have special episodes where it's just a single host. There's sometimes that I do that on our show too. If my co-host isn't available, or I want to record on a topic that maybe something that he doesn't know about, sometimes I'll do that too. So Guys, with that, thank you so much. We're going to be talking tomorrow, some more tomorrow. I don't remember the topic right offhand, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But we'll get back with tomorrow. Join me for Vlogmas day 19 tomorrow.